The Arcata Police Department's, quote, organizational failures, tactical missteps, and investigative and leadership errors damaged the investigation into the 2017 killing of David Josiah Lawson. That's according to the National Police Foundation. The nonprofit's independent law enforcement investigators largely corroborated critics' claims that APD botched the investigation. NPF concluded police errors began when shift supervisor Crystal Armenio responded to the stabbing at the Spear Avenue house party. Shift supervisors had not been provided specialized supervisory training in the management of critical incidents and scene management of major crimes. As a result, many of the basic tenets of crime scene security and management were not followed. Friends were allowed to talk to the suspect when he was detained in a cop car. Officers instructed potential witnesses to leave. A witness retrieved some of the suspect's belongings from the area of the crime scene. An acquaintance drove away in the suspect's vehicle. Officers collected evidence without using specialized equipment that lay dormant following the 2016 reassignment of the evidence technician. Police cordoned off a portion of the driveway where the shift supervisors saw blood, but the stabbing occurred on the adjacent lawn. That misidentification of the crime scene caused misdirection in follow-up by detectives. Armenio correctly prioritized saving Lawson's life, but because she did not ask the responding university police sergeant to help control the scene and coordinate witnesses, command and control of the scene, evidence, witnesses, and investigation was insufficient. For example, in deciding to press charges, the district attorney relied on a police report indicating a witness said the suspect stabbed Lawson. But a judge concluded the detective erred when summarizing that witness's statement. Audio recordings indicate another witness said a black man attacked the suspect. The witness said the suspect grabbed the attacker's knife and stabbed the attacker. But in a report, the officer wrote the witness said the suspect never had a knife and never stabbed anyone. That witness, identified by the North Coast Journal as Angelica McFarland, told 4 different stories in 4 interviews. When Detective Sergeant Todd Dockweiler took over the case, he did not attempt to resolve McFarland's conflicting accounts. Dockweiler did not visit the crime scene nor review crime scene photos before conducting what the National Police Foundation called a curt, instead of exploratory, 15-minute interview with the suspect. Early response errors could have been corrected with proper oversight. Instead, when notified less than an hour after the stabbing, Operations Lieutenant Bart Silvers did not return from his planned vacation 3 hours away. Silvers was APD's second in command. He had 8 years' experience investigating homicides and major crime. NPF concluded, once Silvers learned of difficulties at the crime scene in following established protocols, as soon as the morning after, he should have provided additional supervision to ensure a proper investigation. His knowledge, experience, and assistance would have been a valuable asset. Instead, in the year following the killing, Silvers did not review the case file and did not review police reports from the night of the killing. Sensing police apathy and incompetence, activists occupied City Hall and shut down city council meetings in August 2018. In response to public outrage, then Police Chief Tom Chapman said the case was being worked on every day. But the National Police Foundation concluded the chief was not properly engaged in the supervision of the investigation. Within hours of the killing, Chapman declined an offer of help from the district attorney's chief investigator. Chapman did not want to cede control. The National Police Foundation concluded other agencies could have provided valuable resources to assist with the identification of witnesses, evidence collection, and crime scene documentation in the early stages of the investigation. Instead, Arcata Police forged ahead solo, even though Chapman had little investigative experience. The chief did not ensure that Lieutenant Silvers was overseeing the investigation. Chapman did not review the case before submitting it to the district attorney. A judge concluded the DA had insufficient evidence to force a trial. The suspect was released. The city hired a retired FBI agent unaffiliated with NPF to help gather more evidence.
The chief was not really on top of the case. I would ask, what's the status of the case? The standard answer was, I don't know, let me check and I'll get back to you. And quite frankly, I found it absolutely astonishing that the chief would not know right up to the minute what was going on with the case.
The National Police Foundation concluded Arcata Police, quote, continues to experience investigative difficulties in this case due to decision-making that occurred early in the investigation of the killing. In response, the city's chief executive said, "We will work hard to implement the priorities in this report while continuing to work the Lawson case." She said city leaders promoted transparency by hiring the National Police Foundation and releasing its report. Arcata's new police chief said the department added personnel to ensure that when an incident of this magnitude happens again, we have the institutional knowledge now in place to establish command and control immediately and to start to delegate responsibilities. April 15, 2020 will mark 3 years since Josiah Lawson's death. His killing remains unsolved. I'm Eric Black. This is Arcata News.